I'm Chip Townsend, and this is the Team Chip Podcast.
Well, we got to learn how to lose. You don't have to learn how to win. That's super fun. It was okay to be hurt. It was okay to be broken. It was not okay for you to give up. Outwork bad judges. Be so good that even if the judges say you lost, everybody in the room knows you won. I need doing the right thing to be the only reward I need for doing the right thing.
All right, guys, we're back with the Team Chip Podcast. I know I say it every week, but I'm pumped again. I'm pumped again to be here with one of my amazingly great friends, Master Chance Burleson. How are you, Mr. Chance?
I am wonderful. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm pumped. Now, our venue's a little different, and our sound might be a little bit different today. We have ProMac going on. We're hosting it here at the Team Chip Abilene Headquarters School. ProMac is a quarterly, for lack of better words, meeting and training session that's put on by Satori, Kovar Systems, the Satori Alliance. And so we're getting the honor and the pleasure of hosting, which means I have the honor and the pleasure of having the one and only Chance Burleson in my school and in my house. And I'm so pumped. He's like a brother to me. So a little bit of backside here. We'll get us started. Master Chance, okay if I tell you background just a tiny bit?
Please.
So Master Chance is the son of Pat Burleson. Pat Burleson was the father of sport karate and taekwondo in Texas, basically. And so I'm not going to tear any more of that up, but I'm going to ask you a little bit about that in your background. But I also today wanted to talk to you a little bit about kind of what it's like to have a kind of a, for lack of better words, a legacy school, you know, and a school where you had a father that had such an impact on what we do, and maybe kind of how that's impacting you and how you move forward with that. But tell us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got started and a little bit about your father, please.
Okay. So Dad was the 1964 first U.S. champion in the first junior tournament.
Nice.
And they called him, so my Uncle Bob and Fred Wren and Skipper Mullins and these guys called him the granddaddy of sport karate champions.
Nice.
And these were definitely the old people,
right?
That, from the 60s. Of course, I didn't know any of that. Right. I was, 3 or 4, and he just seemed scary, and he yelled real loud. And I didn't even know that my dad did martial arts until, I don't know, maybe I was 4 or 5, and he reopened a school in Hurst, Texas.
Right.
And none of my other siblings did it.
Right.
And I asked my mom if I could do martial arts. Mm-hmm. And I have not stopped since I was 4 years old.
4 years old. Should we dare divulge your age? Because, man, that's a long time. I mean, I'm pretty much thinking back when you were 4, you might have been riding a dinosaur to class.
I was. Fell off, broke my stone diaper.
I love it.
So, and I remember what it was like, kind of the heaviness of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a knucklehead, Chip.
Right.
I was. I mean, I was just.
We all?
I was not an exceptional martial artist by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
I was barely below average. And I remember the snickering around the dojo, thought Pat Burleson's kid would be better. That was very, very heavy. That was very, very heavy.
Yes, sir.
So I remember my first tournament. I was 8 or 9, and I got beat by a 5-point spread. You know what a 5-point spread is, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, by a little girl in a kung fu uniform.
Oh, boy.
In my first karate tournament, she beat me by a 5-point spread.
Whoa.
And I lost my first match the next 10 tournaments that I went to.
Wow.
And the 11th I took first.
Wow.
And I remember that. I remember, what would have happened if I had quit at 10.
Yeah. I just want to take a minute and step in right here because this is powerful, man. You kept going.
Yeah.
You kept going back. I'm not comparing, but my first couple of tournaments, I vividly remember my first one. I got my butt handed to me so hardcore. And it would have been so easy to quit, and walk away from it. Wow, 10 times you went back to tournaments, and it took till the 11th to finally win. That's just a powerful lesson for the parents that are listening out there to that stick-to-itiveness and perseverance. And, oh, man, that's good.
Well, we got to learn how to lose.
Oh,
Actually,
yes.
learning, you don't have to learn how to win. That's super fun. But you have to learn how to lose.
Yes, sir.
You know, and if in my whole school, I think there's only one thing that I'm really better than everybody at, and I'm really good at not being any good. Well, because you don't get good at anything at first.
Oh, 100%.
You have to get comfortable being ignorant and being the worst one in the room and stuff like that.
Right.
But I remember one of the most poignant moments of Dad, and this will describe who my father was really as a person. Okay. I was absolutely convinced of two things. My father loved me more than life itself.
Right.
And I was terrified of him because he was going to destroy me at any minute. I was very scared, but I knew he loved me.
Right.
You know? So one of the tournaments in my many years of going to tournaments, there was a kid whose mom forged his birth certificate to get him into the younger kids division. He was a couple of years older. I don't know how they let that go on.
That takes sandbagging to a whole new level.
It was real bad. It was real bad. He was at least 1,000 feet tall. And this was back, in the 80s. So you remember the tournaments.
Absolutely.
Like you could break ribs and noses and it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine,
Yes, there was no disqualification. There was hey, we got a winner.
And I was terrified of him. He was so much bigger than me. And my dad was obviously there with me.
Right.
And he kicked me through the row of chairs out of the ring.
Right.
And side kicking the ribs. And I was, of course, sobbing. I was so I was falling apart. And I'll never forget this. My dad picked me up and he cradled me in his arms. And he said, "Son, I'm so proud of you. I love you so, so much." And I really thought the next thing was going to be, "Let's go home."
Right.
And then he grabbed me by my face and said, "Now get back out there and beat him." And I did.
And you did.
And I did. Now, he beat me every other time after that.
Right.
But that was so formative in my life.
Wow.
Like it was okay to be hurt. It was okay to be broken.
Yes.
It was not okay for you to give up.
God, what a powerful lesson.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. It's so amazing. And again, I hate to keep beating the drum, but I think a good lesson for parents to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's okay for your kid to fail. It's okay for them to fall down. And it's also okay to say, get up and let's go again. But I love how he qualified it with, I love you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is you can go too far in either direction. You can be a helicopter parent and you're going to ruin your child.
Right.
Or you can traumatize them lovelessly, trying to not make them weak. Right. And that's just as bad. I was the only child that really kind of took this professionally, and I knew that I never wanted to do anything but run a martial arts school.
Right.
Bought my first school from Dad when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
I have raised 2 children, and I'm now with 2 grandchildren.
Nice.
And I've never had what most people would call a normal job.
Yes, sir.
I have taught martial arts my entire life.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing else that I am more qualified to do.
Right.
I don't know if I'm any good at it, but there's nowhere I feel more comfortable than on a mat in a group full of students.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you want to hear something really cool as far as who my dad was?
Right.
All right. So my whole life, you know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Pat Burleson's kid. That's who I am. What's my first name? Pat Burleson's kid. That's my first name. So I was teaching for years and years and years. My dad came over for a belt test. And this little boy walked up to him and pulled on his sleeve and he said, "You're Mr. Burleson's dad?" That was what made him famous, was that he was my father, not that I was his kid. It was one of my greatest moments.
What are your greatest moments, wasn't it? Like the shoe flipped a little here.
Yeah. That's the only thing that was awesome about him, is that he was my dad. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
It was really cool.
Very, very cool. So I have a great memory that I'd love to share right here. Speaking of your dad, him being at my 7th degree promotion, signing my 7th degree certificate. And if I understood correctly, I was the last promotion he was a part of. Yeah. What an honor. And I was so thankful for that.
The very last person that he promoted. Yeah.
Yeah. I was so honored by that. And it was such a special time. And he was so sweet in that promotion and being there and being a part of that. And he encouraged me tremendously, whispered in my ear several great messages. And I was just so thankful for that time with him. It was great. So, you know, I don't know if it's okay, but as we were sitting here talking, you were talking about your first 10 tournaments you lost, you won the 11th. And, you know, I kind of wanted to lean a little bit into what was it like to have, you know, Pat Burleson as your father, because he was so influential in the martial arts industry for so many years and what we do. But I also want people to know that you have, and I hope it's okay to do this, but you have a couple of physical limitations with arm and chest a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And it's not obvious things, but I also love that your dad didn't allow that to allow you to fail.
Right.
Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so many times I think I'm drawn to that and attracted to that a little bit because I have a prosthetic eye.
Sure.
You know, it's not about me, but I lost an eye at 3, and my parents could have easily just said, well, that's your excuse for the rest of your life, and made that my excuse, allowed that to be. Right. And so I just wanted to kind of share too that you weren't just you had some physical, a little bit of a physical struggle in development, right? And yeah.
Well, so I was born with a condition called Poland syndrome,
right?
And it's not super common. It's rare, but it's even more rare among males,
right?
And so I don't have a pectoral on my left side,
right?
My lat on my left side is about 1/3 the size of my right,
right?
I can't lift my arm can be pulled up, but I don't have the structure to lift my arm any higher than that. And then my fingers.
Yes, sir.
Right. And so, you know, that's like when I was 18, I went to a Marine recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's what I was going to do. I was
Nice.
looking for options at 18.
Right.
And they wouldn't let me join because I wouldn't make an effective fighter because of my birth defect.
I don't know that you've ever told me that story because I have a 17-year-old story about a Marine recruiter that his verbiage to me exactly was, you're unfit to be a Marine. And I was like, all right, because that was my dream.
Yeah, I know. So, but Dad didn't, and he always would say this, and I was so, Chip, I was so self-conscious. God, I was mortified because the thing is, I'll never have that barrel chest.
Right.
I'll never have that chiseled physique of the left matching the right. And I believed as a young boy, I would never be attractive to women. Ever. I would never be desirable. I would never be attractive because I didn't fit that stereotypical thing.
Yeah, understand.
And what's amazing is that I have leaned into it so much. I feel sorry for all the rest of you bilateral people because of the uniqueness of what I have.
Right.
You know, it's not a point of shame anymore.
Absolutely.
It's this badge of honor. It's a point of pride.
Yeah.
Look at what I can do with this.
Right.
It's really cool.
It's amazing.
You know?
You know, when you said the Marine recruiter said you wouldn't be a qualified or a good fighter.
I'm not a great fighter.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, spar with this guy and you will get your butt handed to you, you know? It's like, come on. It's so funny how people will judge you and limit you based on the things that they assume about you.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
They write a story that they have no way of knowing is going to come true.
Right.
None of us do.
Right.
Not even the stories we write about ourselves.
Right.
Especially the negative ones, they don't come true.
Right.
Now, you did a lot of competing.
Yes, sir.
Good. And so one of the things that I noticed that kind of pulled me away from a lot of the competition was I love this country.
Mm-hmm.
I love the people. American competition, like the sporting, the kicking dirt on the referee, the poor sportsmanship. That I hate that kind of also kind of bled into some of the martial arts tournaments that I grew up in.
Right.
And my father never allowed that. He never allowed us to
100%.
act that way. And so I remember, because I would see the parents and the coaches over there yelling and arguing and really behaving very shamefully.
Right.
You know? And I remember getting in the car after being poorly judged.
Right.
You know, they didn't call my points, whatever. I got in the car and I was so mad at my father.
Right.
I'm like, you're Pat Burleson. If you had gone and done what they did, you know what he told me?
What's that?
He
Here,
said,
wait for a great nugget right here.
"Hey, this is good. This is really," I was 10, by the way. He said, if you need the judging to be perfect, you're not good enough.
Nice. I love it.
Outwork bad judges. Be so good
It's so
that
good.
even if the judges say you lost, everybody in the room knows you
Knows you
won,
won.
and you don't need it. Just outwork it.
Love it.
And so fast forward to, I'm a grown up and I have one of my black belts competing in a tournament.
Nice.
And the judges called a point he didn't land.
Right.
And he stopped the match and said, "Ma'am, don't write that down.
Right.
I didn't score that point. He blocked it."
Yeah.
And he took second.
Right.
And I have never been prouder of a black belt in my life.
That's awesome.
Because when you win unfairly,
Right.
you're not only not a winner, you're a thief.
Right.
You stole
And
it
you
from
know.
and you know it, and everybody knows it.
Everybody
and your
knows.
honor
Right.
is so much more important than that hunk of plastic and metal.
Absolutely.
Dad taught me that.
That's so powerful. That's such a good lesson. Man, years ago, taking kids to tournaments, our students to tournaments, and you would look across and see the kid kind of having the fit because they didn't get their way, didn't win, whatever. And it was so frustrating. So we have never allowed our students to act like that. Like, you didn't win today. It was not your day. There was a better man, and you're going to go shake their hand and congratulate them for what they did. And we're going to walk out of here and know you can either quit or you can get back to the mat, and we're going to get busy and we're going to polish. Right. Yeah. Such a powerful lesson. I think such a good thing for people to hear, And I love what you said about if you win unfairly, you're basically a thief. Man, how powerful is that? Especially when you know it. I'll tell you one that I don't want to get off on this box, but one that kind of drives me crazy is, sometimes, there's some divisions where there aren't always a lot of competitors, right? And you'll know someone who will go and compete. You know where I'm going. Someone who will go and compete, and they'll post about their medal and their first place and how amazing it was. And then you find out like a week later, there was no one in the division. I've seen that many times. And I think to myself, how could you even begin to celebrate that?
How can you post this? I took second. There was one person in my division.
Right.
You got second. You didn't take second.
Yeah, you got it.
Second took you.
You earned it. But yeah, one of my favorites is that, you see these pictures and I've seen parents do it, post it up and, their kid and their kid was the only one in the division. You're like, oh my God, what is this parent doing?
Yeah,
They're celebrating.
Yeah.
We went to such and such tournament in first place. And it's like, first place doing what?
Yeah.
Hanging out. Anyway,
I struggled with something. I've had to give up some dietary things for health and stuff like that, and so the first couple of weeks on this last one that I gave up, it was tough because 2 weeks after eating that way, which basically I gave up salt and fat and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. After 2 weeks, I still didn't feel better.
Right.
It didn't work miraculously in 2 weeks.
The microwave mindset was kicked in, and you needed this low cooker going.
And I was so depressed. I was so sad. And I, did some praying about it, did some meditating about it. And what came to me is that I need doing the right thing to be the only reward I need for doing the right thing.
Love that.
It can't be transactional.
Right.
If I need to get what I want to do the right thing, I'll never keep doing it.
Right.
It's not a transaction.
Right.
My honor, I learned that from Dad. Knowing that I won and knowing that I lost is all I need for that. The validation of the medal and the other people and the applause, that is in many ways a false idol.
It is.
It's not. It
feeds your ego, right?
And it's not sustainable.
Right.
And it won't do what I think it's going to do.
Right.
It might make me feel good for a second.
Right.
But it's not actually going to work.
I think that may be where the 15 minutes of fame idea came from. Yeah. Because you win something and you hear the celebration and you get all puffed up about it. Mm-hmm. And then a day later you're going, where did it go?
Right.
Yeah. I'm back where I was. Right.
Well, and it wasn't ours to keep.
Right. 100%. Mm-hmm.
So I have a concept called butterfly on the arm. Most of my stuff is stolen from people like you, great men like you and Hanshi. We have Hanshiisms in our school.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But there's a couple of Chance Burleson originals.
Nice. Okay? I want to hear one. We want to share it with the world right here.
Okay. It's called a butterfly on your arm.
Right.
You show me the toughest, strongest, most masculine guy, a guy like Chip, and you walk through the park, and if a butterfly lands on your arm, it's magical. You won't like, ugh. Like, you know, no matter how tough you are, if a butterfly lands 100%. On your arm, you're like, oh, honey, a butterfly. Look. Yes, exactly. Try to keep it there and find out what happens.
Right.
You'll kill it.
Oh.
So these moments of joy and elation and victory and fame, it's a butterfly on the arm.
Right.
Let it stay as long as it's going to stay, and then let it go.
Let it go. I love it.
Because you will kill it if you try to keep it.
Right.
You put claw marks on it, and we make ourselves miserable trying to claw our way, holding on to things that were never ours to begin with.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's why it meant so much to me when I saw you and Master Carlos come to Dad's funeral.
Yes, sir.
You know? And my father, and in my life, I've made some good decisions. I've done some things right. And at least I grew into a man, and my father, thank God, lived long enough for me to grow up enough.
Yes.
To lean into his death.
Yes.
Where I didn't run from it.
Right.
I didn't hide from it.
Right.
And I cried all the tears I needed. I screamed as loud as I needed to, because I thought, however much this hurts, I owe that to him.
Yes.
I have to honor him to allow this to feel the way it's going to feel. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that 9 days, he was in hospice. If I was a cartoonist, I would have drawn a cartoon of the Grim Reaper.
Right.
And my dad going, you know, I'm Pat Burleson, right? Like, you should maybe go take care of your other clients. We're going to be here a while.
Right.
Chuck and Gina came and sang around his bedside. Gina Norris was singing a cappella gospel songs around his. It was a Norman Rockwell painting. Him and my Uncle Bob,
right,
who had fallen out.
Yes.
Made amends on the phone.
That's so great.
My sister brought my mother over, and they got to say their God. It was the most terrible, beautiful privilege that I've ever been a part of.
Wow. He
promoted my son to third Dan.
Nice.
Gave him his 1964 ring. Nice. In front of everybody. It was complete. Mm-hmm. It was complete. And because I didn't run from it, because I allowed that to hurt me, every time I step on the mat, he's more alive to me than ever.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, you know, I was so honored to get to be at the funeral, and you did an amazing job paying tribute to him, honoring him, and speaking. It was the first time I heard you speak, for lack of better words, in front of a big crowd, and it was amazing. So articulate, so beautiful, and such a beautiful tribute you made to him. So it was really cool. Now it makes more sense having here the 9 days of hospice and the times you went through there, why you were so sharp in that moment, right? Yeah. That's super cool. Well, that's amazing, man. Thanks for sharing the nuggets. I love the Chance-ism, the butterfly on the arm of the strong guy.
It's great, isn't it?
He's always going to go, oh, look, a butterfly.
Honey, it's a butterfly. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool. So, man, Chance, it's always an honor to have you around and to be with you. I always learn from you. And, you know, back to, you were talking about, you know, you're not being a skilled martial artist. I think you're way too, you know, I don't know if you're too humble. Humble is good, but I've trained with you. I've sparred with you. We've grappled before. And man, this guy is a beast. He's an amazing martial artist. And so I want people to know that you've lived this life and taken your beatings. And I love the way you give so much to your students. You are such a giver, and you care so much and so deeply for those guys. And it's apparent why now, because of that history and that background with your father and the way you grew up. There was some tough love in your life, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
But love.
Key.
All the toughness, I never questioned where it came from.
Right.
Like, I was scared to death of my father.
Right.
You know? But it wasn't because of trauma or abuse or anything like that. I just didn't want to cross him.
Right.
But the thing is, Chip, you need to understand the monster of a child that I was.
Right.
I would have destroyed any other parent.
Right.
They wouldn't have been able to handle
you.
They would not have been able to handle. I mean, it took a Pat Burleson to raise a Chance
Chance Burleson. That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
And the thing is whatever modicum of skill that I have, and I think that one of the things that Dad has made me so, again, one of the gifts from him, Chip, is that there are two kinds of martial artists that are strikers.
Right.
Okay. There's the kind that runs into jujitsu, finds out how useless everything they know is.
Right.
And runs away from it and pretends it doesn't exist.
Right.
Or goes, I want that. Teach me how to do that.
Teach me how to do that.
My dad was that kind of guy.
Right.
So he constantly put me in rooms where I sucked more than anybody else in the room.
Right.
And I got comfortable with that.
Right.
I don't know how to do martial arts any other way.
Right.
You know, when I become top of whatever I'm doing,
you're in the wrong room.
I need to go find a different room. So that's why I have Chip Townsends and Hanshi Kovars and Chris Rappholds and you know what I mean?
We find people to surround ourselves with that raise our level and challenge us and take us higher.
And so whatever skill I have has been my willingness to constantly throw myself into the mix and time.
Absolutely.
So when I was a kid, there were so many kids in the school that were better than me.
Right.
So many.
Right.
Right. I would do tournaments, and then my best friend, the guy I named my kid after, he signed up 6 months later. He's beating me in tournaments. I'd been in it for years.
Right.
Because he was talented.
Right.
Guess which one of us is better now?
Oh, you by a long shot.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't keep doing it.
That's almost the story every time. I can't count how many kids I've had come in my school that were athletically talented, picked up things like a sponge, and a year later they're gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the kid that was next to them and started the same day that could not walk and chew gum and kind of drooled every time they kicked, they're still here killing it now. And they had to work for it.
I'm going to give you one more Chance Burleson original.
Nice. Let's go.
The Curse of Talent.
Curse of Talent. Got it.
Talent, if it's not utilized properly, will become a crutch to not develop discipline.
Yes.
So I was a pretty intelligent child.
Right.
And think my grades came easy for me. I didn't have to work. I didn't have to study. The problem is talent doesn't last.
Yes.
Discipline does.
Character and discipline do.
Right.
Love
and
it.
So as I got older, I'm like, oh, I have to actually work to learn things now.
Yes.
If I hadn't had that as a child, I would have developed the discipline.
Right.
I did get that with martial arts. Though,
right.
You know?
That's amazing. Well, there's so many things swirling around in my head. You know, the mindset, right? We tell a kid they're good. We tell them that they're smart. We tell them that they're awesome. And the first time they run into a problem that they don't know how to solve, they run the other way or they crumble because their belief is this should not be hard for me, right? And that's what I'm thinking about as you're sitting there talking about talent only gets us so far.
Right.
It's the character and the discipline and the perseverance and the willingness to step out of that talent. I've had to learn these lessons myself and go, there is more. I can go further. You know what I mean?
You're such a hard worker. You make hard choices.
Yes.
I love how you tell the truth.
Yes.
Like, say those positive things, but you need to word it in a way that shows them their character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. And help them to continue to refine that character and build it, because it's the character. One of these days, that physicality, if you are a talented athlete, it's gonna wane. And when it does,
it has a short shelf life.
It has a short, in professional football, I don't know the numbers exactly, but it's pretty astonishing. The average life cycle of a professional football player is like 3 years. I mean,
I know.
It's unbelievably short.
Yeah.
And they all think when they make that level, and by the way, only like a half percent of athletes out there ever get to that level. They think when they make it, they're set.
Right.
And life is going to be a bowl of cherries. And so many high level athletes get to that point and don't have the character developed and only leaned on talent, and they end up lost.
Talent reminds me of a trust fund.
Right.
Okay. You can take that trust fund and you can completely blow it on debauchery and even not debauchery, even just, not necessarily bad stuff, but selfish stuff, self-centered stuff. Or you can go serve people in need. And at the end of our life, that's what we're going to be left with. I I was given by God these skills, my personality, it's all of that. What am I using it for?
Yeah.
Am I using it for selfish gain?
Right. And I would even say not just a trust fund, but just if you're blessed and gifted enough to be in a place where you make a good living, serve.
Yes.
Find a way to serve, right? You know, I was thinking, it reminds me of a really great sermon that I was in one time, and the pastor was talking about, he said, you know, you live your life, you've been pretty blessed, you had a good career, you get to retire, and you do that. You go, you buy a yacht, you float around the ocean for several years, time expires, you expire, and you're going to stand before God. And as you're standing there, he goes, man, this section right here, things look good. What about this last 10 years here? What do you have to show for that? And all you have is your seashell collection. And that's, you know, that's problematic. We should be taking our gifts and our talents and our finances to the best of our ability and serving with it, right? And how cool is it that service is the antidote to depression, anxiety, and all of these things, right? Such a powerful.
Bill Wilson said this. He was very famous for saying this.
Right.
Founder of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Right.
Said, when all else fails, help another alcoholic.
Wow.
If nothing will keep you sober that day,
right,
go help somebody else, and helping them will help you.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, it's like when you ask a child, what's your favorite part of Christmas, right? And they go, getting presents, right? Santa Claus comes, we get goodies. Right. You ask an adult, most mature adults, I should say, what's your favorite part of Christmas? And it's typically giving presents. It's giving, it's serving.
Right.
That's the best part, getting to see the eyes light up when they get to open their present, when they get to, that's such a powerful thing. Well, Chance, thank you, man.
It was so great to be here. And absolutely. Can I leave whoever's listening to this? I want to give some pretty stern advice.
Yes, sir.
To
I'm
anybody
all
listening right now.
This is where the nuggets are about to hit, by the way, audience. If you're listening, listen for the deepness here.
All right. If you truly want to live a life of significance and consequence, get people in your life that know you all the way down, all the way deep, that will hold you accountable. And I have a short list of people in my phone that I allow to see me all the way through and that hold me accountable.
Right.
And Chip is one of them. And one of the other ones is actually here this weekend.
Right.
And I can't tell you what that has done for me. I would say that being friends with somebody, having the honor to be your friend and having you as my friend, is what Frost talks about in The Road Less Traveled.
Yes, sir.
Letting people, getting to know them and letting them get to know you, and iron sharpening iron.
Yes, Proverbs 27:17
has made all the difference in my life.
That's awesome.
So I will never be able to express how grateful I am to you and your friendship.
Well, I vividly remember when you asked me if it was okay if you reached out to me at times. And at first I thought, me? Really? Yeah. And I was honored and humbled by that. And in being your friend, I've learned so much from you, in these transparent times when you do reach out and you're kind of like, got this going on. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's talk about it a little bit, Right. And so thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of that, a part of your life. That in and of itself to me is an absolute gift. My mom told me something one time. She said, Chip, if, you live your life and you do God's work and you help one person make their life better. And I think the ultimate make their life better is to point them back to God and get them back to God, or get them to God. Maybe not back, but get them to God, right? And she said, you've done your work. You've done what you were put here for. You just one, right? And so knowing that I get to be a part of that with you is a gift to me, because it's a gift fulfilling, I feel like, what my mom told me.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So powerful. So thanks for that, man. I have a tear in my eye, brother.
Me too. Me too.
I love it. Hey, you guys listening, Chance Burleson, Legends Martial Arts. He's in Hurst, Texas, runs an unbelievable martial arts school, has an unbelievable team. He is polished. He is sharp. He pours into lives like no other. If you ever get the chance and you're out that direction, you get a chance to connect up with him, I'm sure he would be happy for you to come by and visit and see him. Chance, I can't thank you enough, brother, for being here, sharing some nuggets and some wisdom from your father. What a gift to keep that legacy alive, right? So thank you for being here, man. You got any last words before we close her out?
Well, it's interesting, the ripple effect. My life, and I'm a better man because of your presence in my life. But what's interesting about that is how many other lives I'm connected to,
right? And
how that ripples out to them.
Yes.
So you're helping people you'll never meet.
Yes, sir.
Which is cool.
It's so cool. And that's a two-sided coin, because I share your timeless truths and nuggets and wisdoms with my team all the time. And so it's two-sided. It is literally iron sharpening iron.
It is. And
right.
I feel like family when I come in here. People
yes.
hug me and love on me like I'm here every week.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Got some nuggets. Like it, love it, subscribe, shoot us a message, reach out to Chance if you ever want to meet him and chat with him. He's an amazing man. Chance, thank you, brother. Love
Absolutely.
you. Appreciate
Love
having you on the show. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning into the Team Chip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget, subscribe, share, and or leave a review, because we need you. We appreciate you so much. And without you, we can't make this happen. Remember, consistency is the key to success. So go out there and never be outworked.